Hey, what's up everybody? Welcome back to KRSTV. This is your boy Kenny. Now remember, subscribe to my channel and click that bell so you can get notifications every time I drop a video. Also follow all the information I have in the description box as well as the comments section. Also like this video, comment on this video, and share this video. Now before I get started with this episode, let me send a special shout out to GMAC, which is Gay Men's Health Collaborative. If you are in the DMV area and would like to get tested for HIV, reach out to the GMAC crew to get a home kit to be tested for HIV. You can have the home kit mailed to you, or you can call and make a same-day appointment and actually come to the GMAC crew location and pick one up. Also, if you're interested in getting set up for PrEP, which is HIV prevention, reach out to the GMAC crew for that as well. Also, if you're a big fan of KRSTV and would like to become one of my Black Diamonds on my Patreon, Black Diamonds because in darkness we still shine, for $3 a month you will get all of my YouTube content as well as special videos designed especially for my Black Diamonds. So check out my Patreon today. Also, check out my YouTube partner BK WorldTube, which is the Black Netflix. You get shows from Love and Hip Hop to the Black Ink crew. So after you watch this episode, click that link in my description box in my comment section and check out BK WorldTube today. Now this is a brand new episode of my show here on YouTube called Tea and Scandals. I'd like to thank you all for clicking on. And this episode is about one of Philadelphia's finest and a world-renowned superstar. And I am talking about Teddy Pendergrass. With his smooth vocals and debonair good looks, Teddy Pendergrass was a record-breaking artist who was on the rise to mainstream success until a fatal accident changed his life forever. Born Theodore Doris Pendergrass on March 26, 1950, he was the only child of Jesse and Ida Pendergrass. He was a miracle baby, being the only child born after his mother Ida suffered 6 miscarriages. His father Jesse left the family after he was born. He will only see his father once before Jesse was stabbed to death on June 13, 1962. Teddy was 12 years old at the time. His mother Ida raised him on her own. He sang his first solo at church at the age of 2 and became an ordained minister at the age of 10 and was a junior deacon. Even though he was very active in his church, he grew up in a very rough neighborhood where gang activity and violence ran havoc around him, and he got caught up in the street life. He used to play hooky from school, and at the age of 13, he and his friends attended a show at the Uptown Theater where he saw the dynamic performer Jackie Wilson. His stage presence and electric magnetism captivated the young Teddy, and from this performance, he knew what he wanted to do for the rest of his life. After dropping out of high school in the 11th grade, he made his first recording at the age of 16, Angel with Muddy Feet. The record went nowhere. Discouraged by the failure, he decided to take up drumming and would go to be a drummer for local Philadelphia bands, eventually landing a job as a drummer for the Cadillacs. In 1970, he was discovered by Harold Melvin, the founder of the group The Blue Notes, and was hired to be a drummer for the group. During a performance, Teddy began singing along with the group. Impressed by his vocals, Harold made Teddy Pendergrass the lead singer of the Blue Notes. They struggled to find a record deal until 1971 when they were signed with Philadelphia International Records, a label founded by Kenny Gamble and Leon Huff. Behind the group's back, Harold changed the name of the group from the Blue Notes to Harold Melvin and the Blue Notes. The other members didn't know about the change until they appeared on television. At the time, they went along with the change due to their success, not realizing this would come back to bite them later. In 1972, Harold Melvin and the Blue Notes released their first album, I Miss You. The title song, originally meant for the Dells and featured Lloyd Banks as first tenor and Harold Melvin doing the spoken rap at the end of the song, became their first hit single, going to number 7 on the R&B charts. The album would go to number 4 on the R&B charts. Their next song, a song originally meant for the group LaBelle, who couldn't record it due to scheduling conflicts, If You Don't Know Me By Now, was a bigger hit, going to number 1 R&B, number 3 pop, and number 9 on the UK charts. Patti LaBelle and Teddy Pendergrass would become very close friends. In 1973, they released their next album, Black and Blue. The track, The Love I Lost, was a huge hit, going number 1 R&B and number 7 pop. Other hits from the album were Satisfaction Guaranteed or Take Your Love Take Your Love Back. It went number 6 R&B, and I'm Weak for You went number 87 on the R&B charts. The success continued with their next album, To Be True, in which it appeared Harold Melvin and the Blue Notes featuring Teddy Pendergrass. The album went to number 1 on the R&B charts, and the singles Bad Luck went to number 4 on the R&B charts, number 15 pop, and number 1 on the dance charts, becoming a part of the disco wave. Other hits were the ballad Hope That We Can Be Together Soon, which went number 1 on the R&B charts, and Where Are All My Friends went to number 8 on the R&B charts and number 11 on the dance charts. By this time, tensions were brewing between Teddy Pendergrass and Harold Melvin over financial issues, and due to the fact that Teddy, who was the lead singer, was being mistaken for Harold and was jealous of Teddy's rising fame. Not only was Harold the founder and leader of the group, he was also the manager of the group, which is defined as double dipping. So contract disputes and financial decisions went to Harold Melvin alone, and he would keep the lion's share of the profits and pay the other band members peanuts. It all came to head while they were in Los Angeles. The band members who were staying in a motel, Teddy walked from the motel to the Beverly Wilshire where Harold was staying in a suite. He confronted him about money, in which Harold, who was entertaining friends at the time, told him he didn't have much, but he will see what he can do. Teddy, peeping from around the corner of Harold's bedroom, saw him lift the mattress where loads of money was under it. He only gave Teddy $200 and told him not to tell the other band members. Angered and disgusted, Teddy decided to leave Harold Melvin and the Blue Notes. The last album he did with the group was Wake Up Everybody. He reported that the title track spoke to him and that he had an epiphany to follow his own advice and leave a failed situation. The song would become a signature tune for Teddy, and it went number 1 R&B, number 12 pop, and number 23 on the UK charts. Other hits on the album were Tell the World How I Feel About You, Tell the World How I Feel About You, Baby, which went number 7 R&B and number 4 in the dance charts, and Don't Leave Me This Way, which went number 5 on the UK charts. The song would become a disco classic with Motown artist Thelma Houston 2 years later. Wake Up Everybody, which went number 1 on the R&B charts, was the last album for Harold Melvin and the Blue Notes. Teddy left Harold, the other band members left the group, and Harold would form another lineup, but never would reach the heights of success again. He even went as far as to threaten Teddy's life and tried to get Gamble and Huff to cut ties with Teddy, which they refused. Harold Melvin died in 1997, and Teddy, along with his girlfriend manager Tasmea Taz Lang, began his solo career. In 1977, he released his solo debut album, Teddy Pendergrass. The album went number 6 R&B and number 17 pop, and had hits with I Don't Love You Anymore, love that song, which went number 5 R&B and number 7 on the dance charts. The Whole Town's Laughing at Me went number 16 R&B and number 7 on the dance charts. The More I Get, The More I Want went to number 7 on the dance charts. You Can't Hide From Yourself went to number 7 on the dance charts. It was during this year that he began to have problems with his manager, Taz Lang, who at one point was his girlfriend, but they were no longer dating, and he had issues with his contract in which when he would get a renewal, she would get a higher percentage rate, and he was not happy about it. Tasmea Taz Lang was murdered in front of her home the same year. She was 31 years old. She was the owner of hair salons in Philadelphia, and it's been said that the infamous Philadelphia Black Mafia was responsible for her death due to her control over Teddy's career. Teddy Pendergrass denied any involvement in her death and sung the song This One's For You at her funeral, and the Reverend Jesse Jackson did the eulogy. Teddy said that Teddy Jackson made innuendos during his speech that he was responsible, which bothered him, and her murder is unsolved to this day. In 1978, he released his second album, Life Is a Song Worth Singing. He also got a new manager, Shep Gordon, who also managed rocker Alice Cooper. The album went number 1 R&B, number 11 pop, and included his singles Close the Door, which went number 1 R&B and number 25 pop, Only You, which went number 22 R&B, and had classic tunes with the title track originally recorded by Johnny Mathis, and When Somebody Loves You Back, and Get Up, Get Down, Get Funky, Get Loose. In 1979, he released the album Teddy. It went number 1 R&B and number 5 pop, and had hits with Turn Off the Lights, which went number 2 R&B, and Come Go With Me, which went number 14 R&B. Other notable tracks are Do Me, All I Need Is You, and Set Me Free. He followed up with his 4th album, Live Coast to Coast, which went number 5 R&B and number 33 pop. In 1980, he released his 5th album, TP, which went number 3 R&B and number 14 pop. He had hits with Love TKO, which went number 2 on the R&B charts, and Can't We Try, which went number 3 on the R&B charts. Other notable tracks are Feel the Fire, a duet with Stephanie Mills, and the Ashford and Simpson classic, Is It Still Good to You? In 1981, he released the album It's Time for Love. It went number 6 R&B and number 19 pop, and included hits 9 Times Out of 10, which went number 31 on the R&B charts, I Can't Live Without Your Love, which went number 10 on the R&B charts, and You're My Latest, My Greatest Inspiration, That Is My Jam, which went number 4 on the R&B charts. Teddy Pendergrass by this time was a top male sex symbol. He had 5 consecutive platinum albums, which was a groundbreaking accomplishment for an R&B artist. He also was the first artist to hold women-only concerts which sold out, and women were known to throw panties on stage. He had many lovers and would have 3 children by 2 different women in the same year, daughters Tisha and LaDonna, and a son, Teddy Jr. And due to him growing up without a father, he made it a mission to be in his children's lives. He was on his way to being what the media defined as the Black Elvis. He even had his own version of Graceland, a 34-room mansion located outside of Philadelphia. With his rise in prominence, not only granted him fame and success, but it also granted him a lot of enemies. He was known to have a big ego and could be harsh with people. He was also known to sleep with married women, which Rick James warned him about, and he would be bullied and harassed by the Philadelphia police, who would tail him as he drove his blue Rolls Royce throughout the city. By the early 80s, he was on the cusp of pop success. His rivals were Marvin Gaye, Barry White, Lou Rawls, and the Isley Brothers. He had his own line of jeans called Teddy Jeans and was selling out shows in the US and abroad. But sadly, his rise would take a tragic turn. On March 18, 1982, Teddy Pendergrass, along with female passenger Tanika Watson, were involved in a fatal car crash when his Rolls Royce was driving on Lincoln Drive, hit a guardrail, crossed into the oncoming lane, and hit two trees. They both were trapped inside the car for 45 minutes. Tanika Watson walked away with minor injuries, while Teddy, who was thrown to the back seat of the vehicle, suffered a spinal cord injury, leaving him quadriplegic, paralyzed from the chest down. It's been reported that the brake line was cut on his car and that this was done to two other vehicles he owned. And at the time, he was suing the Philadelphia police for $500,000 due to constant harassment and brutality he received by them over the years. To end the rumors about his female companion Tanika Watson, she is a transgender woman who had corrective surgery in 1977, 5 years prior before meeting Teddy Pendergrass. So she was a full transitional woman, and Teddy was not a homosexual. The aftermath of the accident was very traumatic. His manager Shep Gordon stayed with him, but his record label and his entire band left him after the accident. Times were hard for Teddy Pendergrass, who considered suicide after the accident, but due to the love of his fans, his therapist, Dr. Gottlieb, and family and friends, he chose to fight and regained his will to live and resumed his singing career. Philadelphia International Records released 2 albums post the accident. This One's For You, which went number 6 on the R&B charts, and Heaven Only Knows in 1983, which ended his contract with the label. Gamble and Huff will go to say that Philadelphia International Records was never the same after Teddy Pendergrass. Teddy Pendergrass struggled to find another record label due to nobody believing he can record again. After many no's, he got a yes from Elektra/Asylum Records, whose president, Bob Krasnow, was ecstatic to work with him. His first release with the label was the album Love Language, released 4. The album went gold and included hits You're My Chance Tonight, Choose Me, which went number 15 on the R&B charts, and the song was produced by Luther Vandross and featured Cissy Houston on background vocals. Hold Me went number 6 on the adult charts, a duet with the then unknown Whitney Houston. The song also appeared on her debut album, and due to this recording, Whitney Houston was disqualified from the Best New Artist category in 1985, which was awarded to Sade. The song In My Time went number 11 on the South Africa charts, and Teddy appeared in the video in his wheelchair. On July 13, 1985, Teddy made his first appearance since the accident at the Live Aid concert in Philadelphia in front of 99,000 people and 1.5 billion television viewers. Along with Nick Ashford and Valerie Simpson, he performed the Diana Ross classic Reach Out and Touch Somebody's Hand. It was an iconic moment, and it moved people to tears to see Teddy's strength and resilience after what he endured. In 1988, he released the album Joy, which went number 2 on the R&B charts, his highest placing on the chart since 1979's Teddy album. The title track went to number 1 on the R&B chart, his second number 1 since Close the Door in 1978. He also had a hit with 2 AM, which went number 3 on the R&B charts. Other notable tracks on the album were Good to You and Love is the Power. Teddy Pendergrass continued to record during the 1990s. In 1991, he released the album Truly Blessed, which went number 4 on the R&B charts. Hits from the album were It Should Have Been You, which went number 1 on the R&B charts. I Find Everything in You, which went number 31 on the R&B charts, and Glad to Be Alive, I love that song, a duet with Lisa Fischer, which went number 31 on the R&B charts. In 1993, he released his final album with Elektra, A Little More Magic. It went number 13 on the R&B charts. Hits from the album include Voodoo, which went number 25 on the R&B charts, and Believe in Love, which went number 14 on the R&B charts. In 1996, he starred along with Stephanie Mills in the gospel musical Your Arms Too Short to Box with God. In 1998, he released his autobiography, Truly Blessed. In 2002, he released the live album From Teddy With Love on the Razor and Tie record label, and retired from the music business in 2006. Teddy Pendergrass married twice. His first wife, Karen Steele, who was one of his former Philadelphia dancers and the woman who nursed him back to health after his fatal accident, they married in 1987 and they divorced in 2002. He married his second wife, Joan Williams, in 2008. On June 5, 2009, Teddy Pendergrass underwent a successful surgery for colon cancer, but weeks later returned to the hospital for respiratory issues. 7 months later, Teddy Pendergrass died from respiratory failure on January 13, 2010 at the age of 59. Teddy Pendergrass was a man of strength, resilience, and power who, after suffering a life-changing accident, went on to have 4 gold albums and inspired many artists such as Kenny Babyface Edmonds and Tyrese Gibson, who is to play Teddy in a biopic movie. He also championed for those who suffer from spinal cord injuries, and he also championed for inner city youth for education and striving to reach their goals in life. He would go on to have 5 Grammy nominations throughout his career and is still an inspiration and pioneer for many artists even today. So I thank you guys for checking out this episode on Teddy Pendergrass. If you have any information that I may have missed, please feel free to put it down in the comments. I would love to hear your thoughts. I truly thank you for checking out this episode. So until next time, everybody, take care.